Hi, my name is Dr. George Bud Baker. Please call me Bud. I am the Associate Director here at the Navy Senior Enlisted Academy, mostly because somebody has to associate with the Director. Anyhow, my purpose today is to give you an overview of the Blackboard course for our Reservist. And I thought I would start here with our Senior Enlisted Academy homepage on the web because it can be a little challenging in that we are nested underneath the War College. Senior Enlisted Academy is part of the War College. So we have arranged all the SEA menus to be everything here on the right hand side. There's a lot of good information on here, and I would encourage you to look at this from time to time. Not only can you find all the schedules that we have, but information about the reservist course, and more importantly, what you can expect when you check in residence. Last and certainly not least is all the contact information for all the folks here at the Navy Senior Enlisted Academy. But let's get the Blackboard. There are several ways you can get there from here, actually. You could click on this link that says NWC Blackboard. You could click on the Blackboard link at the top. But the easiest way is probably just to go to any search engine and type in NWC Blackboard. Hit enter. And it's the first one that comes up, Blackboard Learn. And here is your welcome aboard, and you log into Blackboard. Now I'm going to log in as the test student today, so you can see what the course looks like from the student perspective. This is the Blackboard homepage. You would see all your courses listed under here under My Course. But first and foremost, here is where you go to check your personal information and verify your email address that's in Blackboard. Now that's actually controlled by Empower. When you registered for the course through the War College's learning management system student management system, Empower website, that Empower snaps into Blackboard. So if you need to change your email address that's in Blackboard, you need to change it in Empower. If you're not sure how to do that, contact your FA. It's very important that your email address in Blackboard is correct, because that's how your instructors are going to be communicating with you, as well as some of the staff members here. We just send emails straight out through Blackboard. So if your email address is incorrect in Blackboard, you're not going to get some of the information that you will need. All right, so we're going to look at the reserve course template today. And voila, here it is. Have a few buttons on the side. This left side is the menu. It opens up to the announcement page, and I'll let you read this when you actually get into the course. Here's the announcement from our director, Rich Curtis. And you can see also a good place to start is the button up here that says Start Here. And then you kind of work your way down, and then you can see obviously that I'm in the blue group now. We have different color groups. So let's begin with Start Here. Good place to start. Click on that, and then now it's one page of instructions that actually ends in the ability to download all the course material ahead of time. So I'll get to that at some point, but here's where we begin. Start by watching this overview video, and the one that you're watching now you can get by actually clicking here where it says click here. And then you need to read the syllabus and then set up your Turnitin account, turnitin.com. All your papers are delivered to your instructors via turnitin.com. And then watch these APA videos. We write in APA format here at the Senior Enlisted Academy. Those APA videos are down here in Writing Resources. Now APA, why APA? I get this question all the time. And actually and here's what it is. I remember asking Master Chief Win Young when he was the course director, hey Win, why do we use APA here at the Senior Enlisted Academy when they use Chicago manual style over at the War College? Why don't you use CMS? And he pulled out both books, and the APA book is like this thick, and the CMS book is this thick. He said, Bud, which one would you rather read? CMS is a little bit more complex as well. APA, the citations are pretty straightforward. The in-text citation and the references. Chicago manual style, a little bit different. You have footnotes, you have endnotes, and you have references, and the formats are different in each. So rather than trying to figure out the complex Chicago manual of style system, the Senior Enlisted Academy has adopted the APA system. These the videos that are down here in the writing resources, I'll get there when I explore that tab. We'll really walk you through that quite well. Here's another link to click on the syllabus. And actually, let me go first to the overview. This is, ooh, is it coming up? Yeah, it's coming. It's just going to take a little bit of time. This overview is the piece that's built into the syllabus, and it just has all your weekly requirements. So week 1 through week 6, all spelled out there. These are the videos that you have to watch for that week. These are the readings that are in there, 5 pages of readings. You have discussion board posts that you need to make, and then establish your turnitin.com and post your introduction into the whole class discussion board. So we'll show you that. But this is a nice little summary of what you're going to be doing throughout the course. All right, let me put that off to the side, and let me click on the syllabus so you can see what the syllabus looks like. And it's going to come up. Oh my goodness, it's over on this side. Here we go. I'm sorry, I have 2 computer screens going. And here's the syllabus, and you can see same date. Make sure that the dates kind of match with the, because sometimes I make little corrections and typos and fix it, and sometimes we change the course. So probably the most important thing is if your syllabus is dated a different date, then that probably means I just made some minor corrections. If you're in course 1.2 and you're looking at syllabus 1.1, that's not a good thing. So you need to make sure you're at least at the right revision. And then the syllabus, I'm just going to go through page by page, and you can see here's where the overview is built in. This talks about when you need to post and when you need to turn your papers in, how to turn your papers in, what your grade percentages are for both the distance learning phase and when you get in residence, what you're going to be graded on. A lot of good stuff. Student action matrix, I highly recommend you take a look at that. That is very, very important because that's going to tell you what's going to happen if you don't turn things in on time, which is typically never a good thing. All right, back to the course. So that's the syllabus, and then I'll let you take a look at these rubrics. That's where a rubric is how we are going to grade both your paper and your oral discussions when you get here in resident. Here are the video links to create your turnitin.com. You need to do that by Wednesday of week 2. Why? Because your first paper is due Wednesday of week 2. So those things will walk you through that process. And then, as I mentioned, here's a standard copyright disclaimer. But if you want to download all this stuff ahead of time, let's say you're going to be on travel, you're not sure what kind of connectivity you have, you can download each week at a time. You need the support material for all weeks. It has the syllabus and discussion board questions as well. But you need to, you can download this ahead of time so that, week 2 I'm going to be on travel. I'll download it because that way if I get to an area that has low connectivity, I'll still be covered. I can do everything that I need to do. All right, so that's your start here. You basically, again, it's a course overview and the opportunity to download material. This is your to-do list up here at the beginning. You can get that done. Then we go into the learning modules, the next button down. And you can see these are the 6 weeks that we kind of looked at when I went through the syllabus as well, but it just laid out a little bit differently. Here at the beginning, it tells you everything that you need to do for that week. So here, another link to the syllabus. Check that out. So if I click on this, guess what? It should bring up that same syllabus, and it does, and it brings it up over on this page. So here it is over here. Right. So then again, it's this 2 links to the same document, but that's okay. And then the look at the learning objectives, read the readings, view the lecture material, establish your turnitin.com account, complete the mandatory class-up survey that incidentally I send you. It comes via your email. That's the one survey that is mandatory. That's where we get all our demographic equipment for our command records. I will email that to you by Monday noon of week 1. So if you're in this course before then, we typically open it up on Friday the week before, and you're saying, hey, where's this mandatory class-up survey from Bud? You're not going to get it till about Monday noon. I do that. Why? Because some of the survey questions say, hey, what do you think about the course layout in Blackboard? And I want you to have at least a day or so to kind of look through that. Incidentally, that survey is due by the end of week 1, so please take your time to look through the course and fill it out. But I know some of us are very, type A, and we just kind of want, if it's on the list, we got to check it off and get it done and move forward. So, but please do take a look at that. And then when you go into your group roster, go to your group wikis and then enter that. and then go ahead and take a look at the your journals. You're going to have to upload your PPME. So this is a good point for me to expand the groups. And you can see here's your group journal. Here's your group wiki down here, and then here is your group discussion board where you'll be spending a good deal of time. So each course, each week is laid out the same: assignments, learning objectives, readings, lecture material, and then looking ahead, what you got the next couple of weeks or so. I try to highlight any papers or quizzes that are coming up. Sometimes this one's looking all the way up through week 4. You're only in week 1. You've got plenty of time to actually, that paper is due week 2, Wednesday of week 2. Otherwise, most of your papers, all your other papers, are due on a Monday. Okay, so there's the readings. And if we go to, incidentally, to get to week 2 from here, a couple ways. You can go back to learning modules, or you can use this at the top, what I call the breadcrumbs. So right now we go back to learning modules there, and it goes to all the weeks, and then I'll go to week 2, and lo and behold, look, assignments, learning objectives, reading, lecture material, looking ahead. So each week you spend your time in here. This tells you what you're supposed to do. The very first actually entry item in there on assignments tells you exactly what you're supposed to do, and that parallels both the overview sheet and the syllabus, which I showed you how to get to earlier. So that's what's under learning modules. Assignments, all your deliverables, your papers, of which you have 4, plus your group project, are all laid out here under the assignments. So when you get into the weekly modules that say, for example, ethics is due during Wednesday of week 2. So when you go to the week 2 learning module, it's going to say, turn in your ethics paper no later than Wednesday 0700. Details are under the assignments page, assignments tab. So now you go to assignments, ethics essay due, turn it in, easy for you to say, right? Turnitin.com, week 2, no later than. Here's a link to the practical exercise, which gives you all the detail on what's required for that essay. Here's the outline to use that puts it in the APA format. Here's a rubric by which that essay is going to be graded, and then there's other support material. In this case, we want you to pull something from the a case from the Encyclopedia of Ethical Failures. There's a link to that, and you have to post your topic for that essay in the group discussion board. I'll show you that when we get down to group discussion boards. So each assignment is laid out pretty much that way. If you're trying to figure out what you need to do for that assignment, go to the Assignments tab. Okay, there are 2 discussion boards in this course. There's the whole class discussion, which everyone has access to, and then there's your group room discussion. Now this one here is the template, so it hasn't been cleaned up. In your course, you might only have 2 groups. So for example, if your groups are red and orange, you won't see blue, brown, gold, gray, green, khaki, purple. We use this course, we use the color groups to break you into small groups. So each class will have, the whole class may have 2 to, in the active duty courses, we have up to 7 different color groups. And you could actually have up to 9 groups in any given class. But right now the class sizes are small, so we limit the number of groups. So you'll come together in a whole class format when you get some lectures from the War College, but then most of the time you're going to spend in your group rooms, and those group rooms are based on colored groups. So for this particular demonstration, I would be in the blue group, and because it says down here at the bottom, blue group. So for my introduction, I would go to the blue group intros, and I would create a thread under here, create a thread, and I would post my intro. So I would say something like, Dr. Bud Baker intro. And then I would start typing in here, hi, my name is Bud, and I, do whatever I do, and I work, and these are some of my hobbies, and blah, blah, blah. And then you hit submit. And actually, you could explore a couple of these buttons here. You can do some formatting, bold, whatever. You can change the font size. You can change the color. You can add an attachment, or you can insert a picture if you want. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm actually going to cancel this so that we don't do it. But incidentally, while we're here, you can also subscribe to that forum. What that means is if anybody posts in that forum, you'll get an email alert that gives you that info. So you're not checking Blackboard all the time. Anytime once a group mate post in your Blue Group forum, you'll get that information. This is in the whole class discussion. So again, going back to the breadcrumbs, you can see that if we're blue and brown groups, for example, in this course, or blue, brown, gold, gray, green, I can see who my classmates are in these other groups. You can feel free to talk to them, but or have a thread and say, hey bud, how you doing? Haven't seen you since that time in Guam when da 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 da. But please don't post your bio in there. Post your bio in your group color and let them post their bio in their respective group color. But feel free to kind of snoop around and see who else is in the course. Other than that, there's the whole the water cooler for the whole class forum. So if you have some questions that aren't particularly curriculum related, I don't know, travel, Newport, what are some of the events that are coming up? And but those are some good items for the whole class water cooler. And again, it's the same thing. You click on the forum, you create a thread, and then you could subscribe to the forum and create threads and have a blast in that. All right, so I'm going to jump ahead here. This is the whole class discussion forum. You're not going to spend too much time in here unless you're trying to scope out who else is in there. But otherwise, you'll be in your group room discussion board. So the shortcut. Now, if you don't see all this down here, you just got to expand the little menu. If you don't see the My Groups, then it's probably you got to expand this one here. Right, so now I'm down and create the group discussion board. This is where you'll be spending most of your week-to-week time. You can see the first forum is called the Student Topics. So I click on Blue Groups. This says Blue Group Student Topics. And this is where I post all my papers. Remember, we talked about the ethics essay. So I would post in the ethics, go to the ethics essay, and it says, post a topic from your ethics essay here. Refer to the Encyclopedia of Ethics essay. Look under the assignments tab. Remember, we saw that. And then post which one you're going to talk about. Each student will have a unique topic. In other words, you don't double up on the same topic. So kind of behooves you if you want to kind of get ahead, look ahead of some of the stuff maybe, and pick your topics so that you get your choice as opposed to what's left over. Although there tends to be quite a few in there, so not too much worried about that. And again, you could subscribe to these forums if you your Blue Group forum, your group forum if you wanted. Same thing with the book discussion essay. That's not really due until week 4. But actually in week 4 course material lesson module, you will find links to all the service chiefs of service like the CNO, Chief of Staff of the Air Force, Army, Commandant Marine Corps, their professional reading lists. We want you to pick a book, and then obviously everyone, within your group, the book is only chosen once, so don't double up on books, and you'll have that discussion once you get in resident. So that we've covered the whole class discussion forum, and we've covered also the group discussion board, which is where you get your week-to-week questions. So again, what I would do is there's 2 modules each week. Down towards the end here, we triple up for weeks 5 and week 6. So there are 3 discussions, but usually there's 2 a week at least kind of getting into it. And there's 1 question based on that session. So for the first session, core values, pick a core value, share what that story means to you. Again, click on the forum, create the thread, and then say something like, if I was doing this, I might pick honor. And I would say honor, and then I would come down here and start what honor means to me, kind of type all that in. And then you post that thread, and then you're sitting there waiting for somebody to come back and say, hey, bud, that was kind of neat what you said. Have you thought of this? And again, trying to carry that conversation forward. I am going to cancel this. I'm not going to save that because I would be cluttering up the template. All right, so we have looked at whole class discussion. Writing resources, we looked at both discussion boards as well. This is probably one of the last 2 major areas, these buttons here, writing resources and study skills. This is incredibly important. This is in the start here. It tells you go look at the videos. In the writing resources tab, here's where the videos are. Now this will link you outside the course. It actually brings you to a Harvard website. I've looked at all of these videos. They are fantastic. I mean, you watch these things, you will be reasonably comfortable being able to write an APA, right? And then APA 6 uses 1-inch margins, Times New Roman font, 12 pitch, and double spacing. All papers are double space. So And you notice these are all the nice handouts that teach you how to do certain things. Notice one of them kind of stands out, huh? This whole APA template in Word. You click on this and it's going to bring up a Word document that's already formatted using APA 1-inch margins, double space, Times New Roman, and whatnot. You can use that as a template. Some folks type over it. Most folks just refer to it because Word is pretty simple to set up 1-inch margins. And then you click and you type your own paper, cover page, everything else. Everything's set up on that. So there is, I would definitely download that. And then as well as here's the complete APA manual, as well as Chapter 6, which is citations, and Chapter 7, references. Citations are in text. References are what goes on the reference page at the end of the document. And again, the videos show you how to do that. And it kind of tucked away, maybe a little hidden down here, is these awesome online websites. This does take us one level deeper. I just didn't want a whole big long page in there. And I would explore through these handouts, particularly this, here's the Methodist University's Dirty Dozen Videos, Common Writing Errors. And if you're not used to writing at the college level rather, that's a good little video, quick way to kind of look at what many early writers, the mistakes that they make. All right, almost done here. So now we go to study skills. And study skills is just simply, what do we got here? I got 5 different lectures, each one's about 7 to 8 minutes by Dr. Chu. Each of these is very good. So if you've been out of school for a while, I would spend some time here. 7 5s, 35, so it'll be under an hour taking a look at all this stuff. If you're really pressed for time, please look at least at Lecture 4. That's a good one as well. But truthfully, I'd start at the top, work my way down. Most of our folks through the Senior Enlisted Academy, because I keep track of the statistics as well, 45% riding through life on a high school diploma. That's the furthest they went in terms of formal education. Take another 25% associate's degree. So for Senior Enlisted to get an associate's degree, here's my service record with all my training. Sometimes it's not a lot of academic rigor that goes in there. The remaining 25% or so have bachelor's degrees, master's degree, and occasionally we get a doctorate coming through the course, usually once or twice a year. And so I've been here since 2009, and they've always been an Air Force Senior Enlisted that has that doctorate degree, the whole Air Force thing, and way ahead of the education power curve than we are in the Navy. All right, so we kind of explored all these. And then send email. Let's take a look at that. If you want to send email, you got 3 choices here. All learners, so if you want to spam all your fellow students, click this link, will initiate an email to them. Select users or select groups. So if I hit select users, again, you'll be able to see everybody that's in there. That's all the groups. Right now, this is the test student. This is the template course, so nobody's really enrolled in this. Just the head shed here. And then, but you would select those, put in your header, and then send it out. Incidentally, you can attach files. When you send an email via Blackboard, it hides the who's it going to. So when you receive an email via Blackboard, it just says from George Baker sent via blackboard.com. But I could be sending it to 100 people. You wouldn't know that. In the 2-line, it's I forget what it looks like, but you really can't tell anything. Again, I'm going to cancel out of that. And then announcements brings us to, that's the opening page, the announcements. We just tucked it down here. Sometimes you don't get these too frequently, but we'll get you some at the beginning to get you started. And then if you're ever curious as to what we said on there, you can go back and look at it. Calendar is the calendar, and that is going to show you what all the stuff is that's in your course. I have a few of them, but we'll populate this with due dates as well. Other course tools. Let me take a second to look at that. You're going to have a couple wiki. You got a wiki and a journal that at the group level you'll need to set up. And then this wikis here is the whole class wikis. So let me start by going to the group wiki, and then I'll come back to this button here. If I go to group wiki, there's always, it's preloaded with the roster. So in this case, blue group roster wiki, I would click this edit wiki content and then go ahead and enter my email address and all my info. The only people that can see that are my other group mates and my instructors, everyone who's part of Blue Group, right? So, but now if I go to Tools, and you see that this is the only wiki that's in here. If I go to Course Tools, these are all the Blackboard tools, and I go to Wikis, these show me all my wikis. And notice we've got not only the Blue Group wiki, but then this other one, Airport Arrival Wiki. This is a whole course wiki. Again, everyone will have access to this. And this becomes important during week 6 or right after week 6. As you're going to Newport, a number of folks will fly in, but they're not renting a car. This is an opportunity to use the buddy system. I could, again, same thing, edit the wiki, put my my name, when I'm arriving, what flight, what cell phone number, so people can talk with me, whether or not I'm renting a car and I can have room to bring others, or if I need a ride. So you can set up rideshare. Incidentally, if you're not renting a car, here's the important information about catching the shuttle from TF Green Airport over to Newport Naval Station. You could catch a cab. The cab's going to run you about $100, and none of the cabs at the airport can get on base. So now you're schlepping your bags halfway across the base, and I wouldn't want to do that, especially in the wintertime if you're coming here in the wintertime. These directions say, catch a shuttle. Doesn't matter whether it's going to Middletown or Newport. Get off at the first stop, and before you reach that first stop, tell the shuttle driver you need a taxi to bring you to base. So the shuttle to the Aquidneck Island, Newport, or Middletown, and then from there you catch a cab. All the cabs can get on base, and they'll bring you right up to the either Navy Gateway Inn and Suites, NGIS, or the Newport Chalet, wherever it happens to be that you're staying. So again, how do you get to this whole class wiki? You got to go through the Blackboard tools or the course tools here, and then select wikis. Because if you go just straight to group wiki, you're only going to get those that are your group wikis. Incidentally, your group journal is preloaded with a requirement to upload your PPME. So you would create journal. You would create a journal entry here and add on to this to upload either your PPME, or if your sister service, your SEJ PME certificate, that completion certificate. And that is required. So please go ahead and do that. All right. So I think I've looked at everything, gone through everything that's in here. Collaborative tools. Oh yeah, that's just outside stuff. When you get into your group project at the end of weeks 4, 5, and 6. These are other ways that you might be able to take advantage of in terms of communicating. So again, learning modules, that's where you're going to spend most of your time. And I think I've covered just about everything you need to do with the to get through with this course. So again, Bud Baker, thank you for signing up for this course and becoming part of the senior enlisted leader community who have graduated through the Navy Senior Enlisted Academy. And thank you for all that you do out there. I look forward to meeting you in Newport. Till then, Bud Baker. Bye-bye.